Welcome to the Student Council election meeting for the 2023-2024 school year. If you're watching this video, you should have in your possession a purple contract that says you are deciding and agreeing to run and follow the rules of running for an office. You should also have 4 gold teacher recommendations that we'll discuss more in depth momentarily. During our meeting, we heard from Lily Carmody, our 2022-2023 Student Council President, and Melania Cornute, our 2022-2023 Student Council Vice President, and their reflections on their experience leading Student Council. We're going to talk about how to run for an office, the election itself, important upcoming dates, and then at the end, take questions. And if you have questions after watching this video, you can feel free to see me at school or email me with those questions. So once again, Lily Carmody and Melania Cornute are 2 of our 8 student council leaders for 2022-2023. They shared their experience and tips for running in this election. Student council position responsibilities. No matter what position you're running for, any of the 5 positions you're selected for, you have to show initiative in leadership. You need to take the lead when needed. You need to act on ideas. And you should not be relying on the advisor to initiate work needed to be done by student council members. It is not advisor council, it is student council. This is a student-led and student-guided group, and therefore those people should be looking to take initiative and take action when needed in this leadership role. You cannot be passive and sit back and wait for things to happen. You have to be proactive and be ready to make things happen when you see the need. No matter what role you are running for in this election, or if you're selected as an executive council member, student council representatives in elected positions and selected by teachers should be planning to participate in all student council activities and events. For example, if you select a Spirit Day theme as a student council leader, you should be doing your very best to participate in all the themes that you've selected, because you're asking someone to follow you as a leader. You should be being a good example and encouraging participation by participating yourself. School dances, you should plan on being in attendance at. Pep assemblies, any other school-related events we do, you should plan on being a part of. Student council president, this person is the one that I look to the most. They're the one that I go to when I need something to happen. They are leading all the meetings along with me. They're the person who's making sure that everybody is heard, everybody's participating, everybody is involved, everybody knows their roles. This student gives assistance where needed to me, to other student council members, to any events we do, guidance to any class representatives we might have, or fellow student council executive leaders, and make sure to be positive and praise and build up the work that's done through student council to encourage those to do great things that work with them. The student council president is going to work really closely with me. They're the one I'm going to get a hold of when I need something done. I'm going to find them. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to tell them, hey, we need to meet this week, figure out when that's going to be. We need to nail down what our Spirit Week themes are. You need to get that done. We need a dance theme. by a certain time in the grading period, you need to work with the group and figure out what that's going to be. They are the organizer of any discussions, both within our meetings and in their, meetings together, whether they're talking in class, in the hallways, over a group text. It is their job to be the organizer of those conversations. We shouldn't be relying on anybody before the president to do that. And then that student council president should be a regular visitor to my classroom, telling me what's going on, asking questions, giving updates. They are really welcome in my room anytime. I need to see them a lot, because if I see that student council president a lot in my room, it means that they are actively engaged in their role. Student council vice president is going to work closely with the president. Being student council president is a big job, and you need somebody right there by your side doing the work with you. They're going to work closely with the president to accomplish our goals and plans on student council. They're going to work with the president and the treasurer to keep track of the money that we have spent, the money that's coming in. If we do a school sale and we buy items, we need to know how much we got to make back in order to break even, or in order to make a profit. And that person, vice president, is going to make sure that the treasurer does the job. And then they're going to assist the president preparing meeting agendas. What are we doing during the meeting? What are we going to do? What are our goals and objectives? In the morning, sometimes we meet at 7:30, from 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. We need to know what that meeting is going to be about. 30 minutes goes fast. The vice president and the president need to make sure that we have an agenda that we're going to be working from on that meeting. Publicist, this is a newer job, still kind of coming into focus what this person can do for us, but the goal is for that person to assist with creating what the posters look like that we use to promote different events, the pictures that are taken, the words that are said on it. Work with me to make sure those posters look and read the way that student council wants them to. The publicist also makes sure that posters get hung up in advance of an event and taken down afterwards in a timely fashion. This person, the publicist, helps take pictures either of spirit days or during PEP assemblies or other student council events that we can use to promote student council and to celebrate student council. That either that's on the Instagram page we have, or posters, or on the district website. Those pictures are going to be taken and organized by the publicist for student council. This publicist also is going to help me with writing announcements and making sure that they get turned into me so that we can get them read on AM Copley to promote any student council events that are coming. It'd be great if this publicist showed some initiative by creating a folder or binder or a folder on their Google Drive of all the stuff we've created, so that we can pull that and look at it if we need to recreate it or get inspiration from it. They should be able to pull that up and say, here's the announcement we wrote for this. Let's change it for this next event and make it say this instead. So publicist is a new job. It's one that requires some creativity, some initiative, and a good eye for photographs and writing really, attention-getting announcements. Secretary keeps us organized. Every meeting, this person comes in, opens up their Chromebook in a meeting, opens up a Google Doc, starts taking notes on everything we talked about, shares it with myself and all of our student council executives so that we all know and remember what we talked about, because sometimes in these meetings, a lot of stuff gets talked about and can be easily forgotten. So our secretary keeps us organized, takes attendance at meetings, keeps files and lists for us. keeps contact information of people we worked with. And if we have an event we do, maybe we'll write a thank you note to the DJ and throw that in the mail to thank them for what they've done coming out and doing a dance, for example. And then the treasurer helps us keep track of what's going out and what's coming in. What did we spend on decorations for the dance? How much did the DJ cost? How much ticket money did we come in? How much did we make on the dance after we paid for the decorations and the DJ? Kind of helps us keep track of that. Gives updates to student council about what we did on various sales we've had, and then helps the vice president and the president kind of come up with a budget of what we want to spend. If you run for a position but do not get selected by your peers in the election, you can still become a part of the student council leadership team by being a part of what's called executive council. In order to be considered for executive council, you have to run for a position. You can't just attend this meeting and want to be picked as executive council. You have to attend the meeting and run in the election and not be selected. After the election, the 7th grade teachers get together. I leave the room because I don't want to persuade anybody, but I tell the teachers who won the elected positions and who's left who ran in the election. The 7th grade teachers can then select up to 4 members of the people who ran to be part of the executive council. And those executive council members have many of the same responsibilities as president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, publicist. They still have a role. They attend all our executive meetings, attend all our pep assemblies, our dances, and help us run some really amazing events. So how do you run for office? Well, the first thing is you had to attend this meeting. Being at this meeting was required to run for student council position. You have to complete your paperwork. You have to campaign. And you have to give a speech. Finally, we hold the elections to see who is selected. Paperwork. You have to turn in your purple contract that you picked up at the meeting by no later than Friday, March 17th at 3:05. There are no exceptions to this. You have a week to get this done. If you are a leader, if you are passionate about being a part of this, if you have a drive to be a part of student council leadership, you're not going to be a person who waits till 3:00 on Friday the 17th. You're going to get this thing signed over the weekend and have it back in my hand early next week, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. If you're turning it on Friday, it makes me wonder how serious you are about your commitment to running and how much of a priority it is for you to be a part of this election. You will be notified that your contract and teacher recommendations are done the following week by Thursday, March 23rd. As far as teacher recommendations go, you had 4 of these gold executive candidate teacher recommendation forms attached to your contract. You need to fill in the names, your name, first and last, and the teacher's name, Mr. or Mrs., and their last name, and then write them a note underneath. This note will say, I'm running for this position. I would appreciate whatever. You write a sincere, well thought out note, but do not simply put your first name, the teacher's last name, and leave the message blank. That really doesn't show drive and initiative and caring about this and running for this election like you really want it. It seems like it's just an afterthought or something you kind of want. We don't want people who kind of want to be in student council. We want people who really want to be in student council. So take the time and do this right. Your first name, your last name, teacher's full name, and then underneath what you're running for and why you think you'd be a good candidate for that position. Once you've done that, hand it out to them. Hand it to them. Don't lay it on their desk. Don't put it on their chair. You walk up, you hand it to them, you look them in the eye, and you explain what you're doing, why you're doing it. Hi, Mrs. Lindsay. I'm running for Student Council Vice President. I'd really appreciate if you'd fill this out for me, complete this recommendation. I think I'd be a great leader in Student Council, and I hope you'll fill this out for me. Do something like that. Don't just hand it to them and walk away. You want this, do it the right way. You are allowed to put campaign posters up. You can put them up in the hallway. I would suggest in and around the 400 hallway, since that is where most of the people, all the people who are going to be voting for you are going to be in that hallway for classes. It does you no good to hang it in the main lobby. Not everybody goes that way. It doesn't do you any good to hang one up outside the 200 hallway. The 8th graders are not voting for you. So make sure you put them in a place where you know they're going to be seen by the people who are voting for you. Do not disturb other posters. If there's already a poster hung in a really good spot and you want that spot, you can't have it because they already got their poster up. So find somewhere else. Leave everybody else's posters alone. Your poster should be positive in nature. Should be a positive message about you as a candidate and the role you're running for and why you're going to be good for it. Your poster should be focused on you, not other candidates, not other people who are in the election, just on you. They can go up beginning on March 27th. You should not have items hung from them. Do not hang Post-it notes on them. Do not hang candy on them, either for people to take or as part of your catchy phrase you've got on there. Okay? People don't understand boundaries and will take the posters, the stuff off the posters, thinking they can take it. Don't hang stuff off the posters. Your posters then have to come down by Thursday, April 13th at 3:05. You have to have them down. We'll have the election by that point. Maybe during flex on the 13th, you go around, you take your posters down. I do not want to find them on the floor in the hallways or in classrooms laying somewhere. They should be disposed of properly. Campaign handouts. Do not bribe people for votes. This is not getting an election position because you brought candy in. That doesn't make you a good candidate. That makes you somebody who's trying to get people's votes by giving them food. Don't bribe people for votes. Well, if you vote for me, I'll bring everybody a treat. That's not how this should work. Like, if you vote for me, I'll buy the class blank. Not what we want to hear from teachers that's happening. If you hand out any giveaways, it has to be for everybody. You should have one for anybody who wants one in the 7th grade. You have to have that many. So not a select group, but everybody. Stickers, buttons, anything that's wearable is fine, but I should not find stickers, badges, buttons, wearables on the floor, stuck on lockers, stuck on, the wall in the hallway, stuck on the floor. If you see your stuff like that, you need to pick it up. You're going to give a speech, and the speeches are going to be recorded through a Flipgrid video. You'll be assigned a time slot and a location to film your video in, either the 27th, 28th, or 29th of March. You'll get a paper notice, a reminder pass to go do this speech that you're going to give, you have up to 10 minutes to record. That does not mean your speech needs to be 10 minutes. That means if you've read your speech, you watch back over it, you don't like it, you have time to redo it, but you got to be done in 10 minutes. I sometimes get asked the question, how long does my speech have to be? Well, your speech has to be long enough to get your message across about why you are the best candidate for the role that you're running for. That really cannot be done in less than like 90 seconds. If your speech is somewhere between a minute and a half and 3 minutes, that's pretty good. If you watch your speech back after recording it on the Flipgrid to check how it sounds and if you said everything right, and it's only 30 seconds long, that's not a great speech. Probably not going to get you consideration for being elected. Anything under 60 seconds is really not going to get you many votes, probably because you just haven't told people why you're the best candidate. You got to be very clear and detailed why you're the best candidate for the position you're running for. Again, 90 seconds to 3 minutes. It can be a little longer than that if you want to. It can't be shorter. It's not enough time to do it in less than 90 seconds. So practice, read your speech. And here's another tip about speeches. Think about involving a language arts teacher. Mrs. Adair last year helped a kid with their speech, and it had great results for that student. So start right now as a candidate by showing initiative, saying, I may not have the best words to write my speech. Maybe I should talk to a teacher, either Mrs. Adair, one of your history teachers, one of your science teachers. Ask somebody for some feedback on your speech that you can trust, and it'll help you write a good speech. In your speech, don't give empty promises. You can't fix lunches. Oh, I'll make food in this cafeteria better. No, you won't. You don't have control over that. Oh, I'll get better toilet paper or Kool-Aid in the drinking fountain. Okay, that's unrealistic, and you have no control over that stuff. Don't promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. So when you give a speech, you might want to talk about what you've been a part of at CFMS. How have you already been involved in making your school a better place already? That could be clubs, that could be teams, that could be extracurriculars, that could be in the classroom. Talk about how student council executive leaders show responsibility, how they show leadership, how they show respect, and how they show initiative. Don't define them. I do not want definitions. I don't want definitions. I want you to explain, give me examples of how they show these qualities. Then after we get the speeches recorded, we'll hold the elections. You will watch the videos on April 11th and 12th in world history. Voting will be done in a Google form during history class after you've watched the videos. And we will announce the winners of the election on the afternoon of April 13th. So again, reminder some important dates. March 17th, contracts are due. March 23rd, you'll be notified you are a candidate, your contract and recommendations are in. Speeches are recorded, but sometime between the 27th and 29th. You can also start hanging your posters on the 27th of March. Voting is the April 11th and 12th, and then winners will be announced on April 13th, along with student council executives who have been selected by the 7th grade teachers. If you have any questions whatsoever, please come see me, email me, see me in the hallway, see me at lunch, during flex, between classes, whenever. Please, there's no bad question to ask. The only bad thing you can do is not ask questions if you got them. Asking questions of me and your teachers about student council leadership, that shows responsibility, that shows initiative. So please don't leave questions unasked. If we can help you out with getting ready to run for a student council election, please let us know. To those who decide to run after this meeting today, best of luck to you. Thank you for stepping up, saying, I want to lead this school. I want to be a person who makes an impact on my school in a positive way and make our last year of middle school the best it can be. So thanks for taking that responsibility on, and best of luck to all of you who run in the election.